Okay, so you guys have this from Chia's point of view as a real estate professional. This is where I got from Sacramento Appraisal Blog, and they're very well known. So this I thought was very interesting. In 2021, okay, the amount of cash transactions was less than 15%. The amount of FHA, this number actually quite surprised me because
That is so surprising.
yeah, because Chia and I, we specialize in all, but we have a soft heart for first time buyers. And most of the time, first time buyers don't have a whole lot of down payment, which is totally okay. That's what FHA was built for. Okay. With a lower interest rate, with the affordability, all of that. Okay. So we're a little bit surprised because our numbers are definitely much higher than this. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, and this makes me a little bit sad, you guys. 4.3%. That means sellers aren't taking as much, but please don't be discouraged because when you have a strong agent and a strong lender to negotiate on your behalf, really what the seller and the listing agent who's advocating for the seller wants to know is like, is this gonna go through? We've been burned so many times and we vouch for you. I send out an update just as Chia reaches out to the agent. I say, I'll vouch for you and say that, hey, I've studied this person's assets, income, and credit, the whole shebang. I walk them through, help them rip off the band-aid and understand that, hey, if rates go up or down or whatnot, you guys are fully prepared. Okay. So again, this number kind of, made me a little bit sad. But as I'm looking at this is why it makes so much sense that days on the market are 17 days. And I'll tell you guys why. Almost 70%, okay, of all loans go through, which means, guys, a little over 85% is still all loans. So don't worry so much about the cash offers. They're not that much to begin with. Okay.
Yeah, in case you guys are wondering what this is, this is all the data of like loans that were used to buy homes last year of 2021. And
Correct.
these are the metrics for that. These are the ratios for that. In case you guys are
Right.
wondering, like, man, I'm only qualified for down payment assistance, or I'm only qualified for FHA. I'm not gonna be able to like outbid a cash buyer. Here you go. They don't even make majority of the purchase last year. It was
Right.
conventional.
So you see, and that's the thing. When people utilize conventional, they're putting 20, 30, 40% down. And a lot of times that doesn't even require an appraisal. And because of that, yes, even if the loan is not um, seen by an underwriter just yet, if the lender has a really systematic and efficient way where the processors, the underwriters, the loan officers are able to communicate properly to each other, everybody passes the baton and knows their exact role, then it absolutely can close within 17 days. That's actually kind of normal for a deal that doesn't require an appraisal. So as you can see, if that is that number, 70% of conventional are skewing that number, then to me, it absolutely makes a lot of sense.
You
Okay.
know, you know what that doesn't show? That does People that are utilizing conventional could also be utilizing the low down payment, right? Like 3%. three
Yes.
percent down payment. And I
Yes.
think that might be the reason why too, why that ratio is so high. Because a lot
Yes.
of first time home buyers, if they are well educated and they know that they have the option of going with 3% conventional or 3.5% FHA, they might go with 3% conventional over FHA, because with FHA, even though your home has over 20% equity, your mortgage insurance is never going to be deleted off on your mortgage payment. Whereas conventional, you put 3% to introduce yourself into becoming a home ownership. The moment your equity exceeds 20%, that mortgage insurance gets off. So if
Correct.
a buyer is educated about this, they might be utilizing conventional for that same purpose. What do
So
you think?
let me add a little bit more to that, okay, Chia? When it hits 20%, it's not automatic. You do have to call into your lender to ask for that. Number one, it does fall off, or it's supposed to fall off automatically at 22%. I say don't rely on the competency of your servicer, okay? Definitely look at the market, talk to your original loan officer so that
Or
they
your
can,
agent?
yes, so that they can help you gauge, hey, I think you're almost there. And you don't have to wait for 2 years, guys. You can always
Right.
refinance if it makes financial sense for you. I mean, in the last 3 years, I've refinanced people even less than a year who put
Yeah.
3 to 5% down, who did an FHA, and I'm so glad that I did a lot of the refinances last year and the year before, because the other thing is the interest rate shot up by almost a whole point.
Is that
And
going to
I'm
be our
going,
cue?
what's that?
And our cue for the prediction?
A little bit, a little bit. I mean, it is going to skew a little bit. So if you're not prepared, okay, before, when the interest rate were a little bit higher, the homes on the market were also bigger too. Chia, you did a show, we did a show, what, 2, 3 months ago, I think, where you were talking about the differences in 2006, 7, 8, and then now,
Oh,
and you
yeah.
saw the inventory, even though everybody was like, okay, nothing's going to happen, nothing's going to happen. But the writing was super on the wall already, because the
The
data was
data was
already
there.
there. The data was absolutely there, just like the data is here now. So
Hmm.
if you haven't prepared yourself, and if you haven't cushioned, and what Chia and I have done, which has worked in most of our clients' favor, okay, is that even if you qualify for 600,000, he's going to start you at 500 or 550, so you have at least some wiggle room for
To
things to
compete.
happen, rates go up, bargaining chips, things like that. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to go to the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And to piggyback right off of what Lisa just said, the reason why you want to implement that kind of strategy in this market is also because don't be afraid of overbidding to compete, because a lot of first time home buyers are feeling, but I'm overpaying. Well, we won't know because we still have to go through appraisals. And if appraisal doesn't come in, then we could renegotiate the price, or we cancel, start back from square one and go look at homes again. Or if you're able to cover that difference and get the home, think of it as this. Think of it as you getting yourself in the door sooner, because if you know that the data, right, shows that there's no inventory and prices are gonna keep going up month by month, then is it worth it for you to overbid so that way you could get in the door now, and then the market's already gonna catch up to it by the time you get your home? You guys see what I mean? So like you kind of gotta position yourself and kind of future proof yourself, because each time you're going out there with your agent to go look at homes and getting outbidded, it's leaving a scar on you each time you get outbidded. And I could tell you this, a lot of buyers that get outbidded once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, they start getting really frustrated, and then they start having regrets like, man, I could have competed. I could have gone up higher.
Mhm.
I could have went 10K above. I could have went 20K. And like, you don't want to do that to yourself, because then each time you do that to yourself, you're gonna like feel like you missed out, and
Yeah.
you're not going to want to buy anymore. You're just going to be like, man, it's just too competitive. But instead, if you know the data and you see this, then you do the math and find out what you're willing to pay, what price you're willing to pay, if that makes more sense.
So because we're so data driven, okay, Chia, can you share with the audience where you got this, or did you just create this on your own?
Which one?
The data.
The data? Oh, the data like I just showed right now?
Yeah.
Where did I get it from?
Right.
This is I did not create this. This is provided to us. So like if I was to go here, this is my
Yeah.
main hub. Whenever I'm searching up homes for my clients, this is my main hub. Okay. I pay for this subscription as an agent, and I just hit trends. I hit
Right.
trends, and then this pops up. So this is data, actual data that's being recorded month by month. So
So
that's why
TT,
I like to share this with you guys. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, TT fam, the reason why I asked this rhetorical question is a lot of times you'll get misinformation out there. And I wanted just to point out that because Chia's one of the greatest experts in the Sacramento County, he pulls all of this information. So when he goes and negotiates for people, he has all the arsenal in his hand, and he can say, look at a property and say, okay, this is overpriced, this is underpriced, this is where I think would be the sweet spot of you getting the best deal possible. So I just wanted to share that with the audience.
Yeah, and like it's important to look at these data before submitting offers on a home, because like if I was showing one of you guys a home and you guys liked it and the asking price was, let's say, 500K, and you wanted to submit an offer, let's say 500K. But then I did research and I found out that home is actually worth 550. They underpriced it. If every buyer's agent is doing that for their buyer and then they submit an offer at 550, but you're the only one that submitted at 500K, whose offer is going to get accepted? Of course, the 550 one, right? Because they did their homework. Or it could work the other way. Let's say the home is worth 450. Then when you submit it at 500K, you're depending on the appraiser to come in short so you could renegotiate down the price. Because now it's not you saying that it's not priced at 450 or worth 500K. It's the appraiser saying it. So now you're leveraging off of that to negotiate down the price. And this is something I always mention to all my buyers that are looking before we submit offers, is going off of data for that specific property. So that way, you are not just winging it. You're not just throwing something on the wall and hoping something stick. It's actual data from that area.
Yeah, totally. And Chia, you talking about 3% down versus FHA 3.5% down, guys. It's not whether one loan is better than the other. It's which one is better for you. Because FHA is a lot more friendly with people with lower credit or want a higher purchasing price, because there's a limit to 3% down. The loan can't be over 548. Okay, so if you're in that category and you can't put at least 5% down, FHA might still be the better option for you. Okay, so you won't know until you look at all of their options and see which one makes the most financial sense. And a lot of times, maybe you won't like that first loan that you get, but there's always an opportunity for you to refinance. And when I analyze this for you, I will tell you, okay, if you get into this loan, this is the worst case scenario. This is what it's going to look like. If it's favorable to you to refinance this year around, I don't see a lot of refinances happening, just because the rate went up, unless people were still in the 5 to 6% interest rate. I don't see that making a whole lot of sense for people who bought 2-3 years ago. Okay, not yet anyway. But we'll see. Everybody's situation is very, very different. Okay.
Lisa, Irv Green is asking that they will be reaching out and they want to know if there's any first-time home buyer programs.
There are. So the 3% down is a first-time home buyer. FHA 3.5% is not. So again, if you just sold a home or something like that, there's that. There's the CalHFA down payment assistance program. Again, it's coming back, a little bit more popular. But again, this market is very, very difficult. The less you put down, okay, the harder it is for you to win the offer. So even though it's on the table, I would do the budget plan with you to say, okay, this is what your savings potential every single month is. We will go with this one. So if we get lucky, and Chia and I have been lucky many times where that has happened for our people, if we get lucky, great. Then it's totally, totally meant to be. And that's so awesome. But I also want you to be prepared with a plan B. Okay, so let's take a look at that. It might not be as difficult. I mean, I just did an assessment for somebody yesterday who is doing paycheck to paycheck. And when I did that assessment for them, I was able to set them on a financial diet that allowed them to live comfortably and save at least $1,300 from paycheck to paycheck to $1,300 a month, you guys. Okay.
It's important to do a budget sheet. So
yeah.
If you haven't done one, get one done. But
yeah, to me, it's fun. I hope it is for you guys too. Just because I've been doing it for so long that I just feel like it's such a blessing to be a part of somebody's journey and to be able to create that lifestyle that I know most of you, if not all of you, deserve. Okay.
So moving on with the topic, with everything that Lisa mentioned and all the data that I just showed you guys earlier, I feel, Lisa, that this year it's probably going to get worse. The reason I say that, Yeah, because here's why, because this is the number one factor right here. Inventory.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no inventory, and this is driving up the price, So like I feel like this year, even despite, I mean, what do you think about rates this year? Rates just went up like almost a point, right?
Oh my goodness. So let me share a little about the rates. It went up by almost a whole point, you guys. The average interest rate last year was 2.5 to maybe 3.5. And that's when your credit is the lowest, your down payment is the lowest. Okay. And even if you're buying an investment property, it was still in the mids to high threes. This time around, we're already looking at average rate, and the rate went up. It started to stabilize a little bit in the last 2 days and everything, but it's been crazy. We mortgage folks are looking at it, and we're getting updates 2, 3 times a day that it's changing. It's like, oh my gosh, this is like the stock market. This is like Wall Street stuff again, right? And in the 12 years that I've been in this industry, this is the most volatile. I thought 2006. Oh, I'm sorry, 2008 was the most volatile, but this time is even more volatile than that. In within 20 days. I mean, it started in 2022. I mean, it technically started at the end of December a little bit, but in the start, oh my gosh, I mean, we went from 3%
And the
all
feds,
the way to
right? The
3.5.
feds, the feds
Yeah.
also said they're going to be raising rents 4 times this year, right?
Yeah, that's yeah.
And if
Yeah.
this is the first time, if
Yeah.
this is one of the four and it's already almost a point, man, like I'm afraid we might even break 4%.
Yeah, and it's pretty darn crazy. And guess what, you guys? Last year, we're having more and more $1 million sales in the Sacramento area. We're getting into 7 figures already. So I'm going to share you guys that slide for a little bit.
Before you go
Yeah.
ahead and pull it up, but before we share that, I wanted to piggyback right off of that. So, like, even though despite the rates have gone up almost a point, like what Lisa said, the reason I'm saying it's gonna be worse this year compared to the last few years is because even though rates are going up, people are still gonna buy homes,
Yeah.
and inventory is still low. So because inventory is going to be low and it's going to stay low, here's why it's going to stay low. Because of the new COVID. Sellers right now are asking themselves this question. If I sell my home, where am I going to go? I don't want to be part of that buying pool that are overpaying or that are at a bidding war with each other and breathing down each other's neck.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, sellers are asking themselves that personal question, and that is what's preventing them from wanting to put their home on the market. That's why
Right.
you see this chart going from 0.9 month worth of inventory to 0.5 right now. It's
Yep.
because sellers are afraid of where they're going to go. And they don't want to be out in the streets. They don't want to go and rent an apartment. They don't want to go and sign a lease to where you have to have 3 times the income to be able to rent that apartment that's a lot smaller than their home that they just sold. And if they catch COVID, they have to quarantine or get a roommate or whatever. Like, they don't want to go through that. So that's why I think this year is going to be worse, because inventory is going to continue to be low despite the high rates. So then
Yeah.
that's going to cause the price to still shoot up. Because right now, the median home price in Sacramento is like 470K.
Yeah.
That's the medium household. That's the average price a family has to look at in order to get a decent location and at least a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. So, like, that's what I mean by it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
Unless something miraculously happens and the government decides to create a bunch of affordable housing, which I don't see happening because lumber price is still high and nobody's at work. Nobody wants
Yeah.
to go to work. Like, I just went through the drive-through the other day, and like, I swear, every sign I went past, every restaurant I went past had a sign that says we're hiring with benefits. It's like
No.
they're trying to get you to go and apply, and they got all these benefits they want to offer you if you choose them to work with. They're
It's
incentivizing you to go and apply it because they're so short-handed.
right. I mean, with the number of employment going down, um, again, Gia hit the nail right on the spot, because we are having this influx of lost jobs, increase interest rates, increase home prices at the same time. So when's the sky gonna fall, right? So as looking at the data, looking at all of this, guys, just as the writing was on the wall during the last crash, this writing is also on the wall. And that's the thing. Rent prices also have significantly
Went up.
increased. And
Hmm.
the fact that people are much more comfortable now working from home. They're looking people the reason why they're not in the restaurants and things like that, because there's so many jobs out there that are online at the comfort of their own home. Gas prices, have increased
Oh
significantly.
my
Okay,
gosh, yeah.
and if you're making minimum wage and you're doing all of that, you're gonna feel the pangs of paycheck to paycheck. So most people who have internet, which is 99.9% of the people out there, right? I would assume so. Um, they're looking for jobs that doesn't require for them to do that, so they can save up on gas. They can save up on eating out when they're working out and or outside their home. So there's a lot of factors that come into play. And when you look at whether or not the market's going to crash, all of that is going to come into play. I don't know if it's going to be a miracle, Chia, but I would say if the market's going to crash, it's going to take a catastrophe. So to me, I wouldn't want that either. Okay, guys, I don't want any natural disaster that could really, really hurt us in that way. So let's continue to stay blessed and positive and fight the fight. Okay,
But
guys.
here's what I would say too on a positive note
Yeah.
is if you guys are still in the market to buy a home, buy the home, because even though it sounds bad, it sounds crazy that prices are gonna keep going up, it's not like it's gonna happen overnight. And if you know that, you should be using that as something to, like, be super proactive now in your search. Like, go out there and look at homes more often with your agents, put more bids in. And unfortunately, like a lot of buyers right now that I'm working with are compromising. They when they were looking with me a few months ago, they wanted maybe a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. But because of the way the market is right now, and their income hasn't changed as fast as home prices, they
Mm-hmm.
they're compromising. They're letting go of that 4th bedroom and that 3rd bath. They're settling for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, just so that way they could get out from the rent world and start paying their own mortgage. And they're using that as a long-term goal for a lump sum from their equity to down for the home that they did intend to buy.
Right.
And I don't think that's wrong. It's just going to take you longer to get to your dream home. But in this market, the reason why I'm saying that it's okay to compromise is because if you don't do that, you're going to be stuck in a rent. You're going to be stuck renting. And because rent's going to keep going up, you're going to be pouring out money, so much money, because it's not gonna crash anytime soon. We
Right.
don't have we don't have any inventory or data to support
Back that
that
up.
there's gonna be a crash.
Right.
So, like, if you guys are that person right now that are looking to buy, and you guys are afraid because prices are gonna keep going up, and you guys don't want to be the one buying at the top, well, we're not at the top yet. Price is gonna keep going up. So, like, if you were to wait until like 6 months and then buy, you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot, because the price today is gonna most likely not be the same price in 6 months.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And Chia, you mentioned the word stuck. I want to piggyback on that a little bit. Guys, think about it. Okay. Let's just say we keep that word stuck. Would you rather be stuck in a house that you may not like so much, but it's yours? You're stuck in your own house. or you're stuck in a situation where you have no idea whether or not your landlord is going to sell. And then what? You're stuck in a situation where you're going to have to move. And all of my property managers are telling me that their line, okay, for rental is over
Yeah.
200 lists. So I'm like, okay. So
It
think
is
about
so
it, guys.
crazy right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you rather be stuck in your own house or stuck in somebody else's house where you cannot control what they do? Just think about that.
Me and Lisa just spoke to a family that, like they had to move out from their place, because the landlord sold the home and now they're forced out, or because they didn't like their neighbors and they got out.
Yeah.
And now they are stuck. They are stuck in a position to where they didn't position themselves to qualify to buy a home. So, and then now they're running around looking for a rental that they could afford. And right now there is no inventory for rentals too. Landlords, I hate to say this, but some landlords right now are liars. They're telling you, oh yeah, they're not gonna sell. They're not gonna sell. But they're the ones that are constantly looking at the market, and they see that the market's so high, they're gonna want a piece of that equity.
Yeah.
So that's gonna drive them to want to sell or raise rent.
Yeah. And here's the thing, guys. People are getting solicited left and right to sell their property. So with the right price for any investor when they're looking at it, and especially if you know that you're in a below market rent, you got to be very, very careful of that situation, because if your landlord gets wind of that,
Yeah,
and in order for them to profit and they have to sell, that's what
they
they're
might
going to
do
have
it.
to do.
They
Yeah.
might do it. Because
Yeah.
here's what landlords are thinking, okay? If I don't sell now, when the
Mm-hmm.
price is so high, I might miss
Mm-hmm.
this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I don't sell now, when prices do drop later down the road, whether it's 5 years or 6 years, rent's also gonna follow. So that
Yeah.
means that my rent I'm charging this tenant right now, they're not gonna want to pay because across the street is like almost 2x lower. They're gonna break my lease and go somewhere else. Like
Yeah.
these are the things that every landlord is asking themselves too. They're thinking about long term, they're thinking about short term, they're doing all of this. Like, don't even get me started on Airbnb. Like
Mm-hmm.
some landlords are shifting from long-term tenants to Airbnb short-term tenants because it's making them more money and they don't have to commit to a lease.
Yeah.
So
We can
there's a lot of things going on right now.
a lot
But
of
let me
things.
let me answer some comments, okay? So
Sure.
let's start at the top. Eva says worse. Yes, worse. With question marks. Pal
Sorry.
says, "Oh my gosh, almost a point interest rate is crazy." Yeah, it is, man.
So anybody that did it
The
last year or the year before, consider you guys like
yeah,
total winners.
yeah, it's like
Woo!
almost 4%. So it is crazy, pal.
Yeah.
What is the average home price in Sacramento? Average right now is 470K.
Mm-hmm.
Jay's
And I'll
right.
show you guys some numbers later on.
Jay says, "What is the minimum rent price for a 4 bedroom?" I've been hearing like over $2,000 a month for a 4 bedroom, and that's not even in the best location, Jay.
Okay. While you're talking, Chia, I'm gonna just
Yeah,
look up rental meter so that we can show
yeah,
our
go ahead.
audience.
Yeah, go ahead. Hey, Lynn. Lynn says, "Hi, Chia, Lisa."
Hi.
Pal says, "I never thought I would say this, but it seems if you made under 100K share income as a couple, it's hard to buy a house. Am I wrong with prices on everything going up? Is he wrong with a couple that makes under 100K
If
a
you don't
year?
have any other debt, or you don't have much debt, no, it shouldn't be that difficult.
It shouldn't be.
Yeah, as far as qualification goes, as far as looking for a home, solidifying a home, and understanding the aggressiveness that you have to be in order to win that offer, then yes. Okay.
And
So
and
what I
and
say
pal,
is,
it depends. Like
yeah.
even if that couple has under 100K, they might not need a 5 bedroom. They might just need a 2 bedroom, or
Hmm.
or maybe a 1 bedroom. I don't know, just something to where if they were to settle for a rental, what would they
Yeah.
live in? Most likely, it might just be a 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Then I would say, in that regards, in that perspective scenario, buy a 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Buy something that is not outside of your means, so that you don't, spend above your means. That's what I would say to that. But if that
Hmm.
couple needs like a 5 bedroom and in the great location, then yeah, that is gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough for under 100K. That mortgage at 470K is going to be a lot if you can only put the bare minimum 3 to 3.5% down. That is true. A lot of first-time home buyers are putting the bare minimum. It will be pretty high unless you have a future plan of, like, what me, Lisa, always recommends people is, if you're utilizing the minimum down payment just to get in the door, think of an exit strategy. Are you gonna refi? So when the rates go down, to lower your payment? Are you gonna be like putting money aside to put a significant higher down when you, after you get the home, to make your loan lower? Like, you gotta have a plan. If you kind of go in just thinking you're gonna do that forever, then yeah, it is gonna be pretty high. So you gotta, this is why you gotta talk to a local expert in your area to go over your budget, because that budget is so important. If you don't do that, you're going based off of a calculator from Zillow alone, like that, you're gonna be shooting yourself in the foot. So you don't want to be that person. Get to know the numbers first before you actually go out there and commit. Ada says, was reading in Business Insider that for people in SAC to live comfortably, we have to have annual income of 125K a year just to live comfortably. I guess, that sounds about right, but like, I think that's really like a blanket statement, to say it like that, because everybody's lifestyle is different. Some people eat out
Hmm.
every day. Some people prefer to like cook for themselves. Like, from what I've learned, a lot of, ever since 2020, people's been growing their own garden because they don't want to go to the grocery store and buy a garden and buy groceries anymore. They rather just have it in their backyard, and it's cheaper. So like, I think it really depends, but 125, I guess that's about right. But people are also spending a lot more now too. They're spending a lot more. Uber, Amazon, things they don't need. So like, I think if a family was to sit down and cut down all the fat that they don't need from their bills, I bet you they could probably save more money. Because there's a lot of people out there that have subscriptions that they don't even utilize, and it's eating their bank account. So there's a lot of ways you go about it.
Absolutely. So
You
I'm still
ready?
trying
You
on.
ready?
Well, it's asking me to put in an actual address. So give me just a moment. Let me go ahead and enter that and see if it'll allow me again. Looks like it doesn't allow me because I tried it over 5 times. Chia, you want to try it on your computer?
For looking at rental
Go
meter,
to, yeah, rental meter, and I'll give you an address because it apparently it asks for an actual.
I'll do that. Here, let
Yeah,
me
it used to be
read
free,
this
and
real
now
quick.
it's saying it wants
Sound
me to.
You to Sleep says, is it a good time to buy a house now in Stockton? It depends. Sound You to Sleep. Your name is funny. Yeah, it depends on your situation and what you're planning on doing. Um, one answer isn't a one size fit all for everybody. So I would say talk to a local professional about your budget and find out if it's a good time to buy for you. So a
Yeah,
way to find that out would be, what type of home do you need? Not want, need. And can you afford that home that you need?
yeah,
And if you could afford it, meaning that your pre-approval allows that, and then you're not negative at the bank every month after you pay your mortgage, and is it cheaper than renting the same home, or does it break even? Like, these are numbers you need to ask yourself personally to know whether or not it's a good time to buy for you. Because it
yeah.
might be a good time for you to buy, but it might not be a good time for me to buy or Lisa. Everybody's situation is a little bit different and unique. So yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
All right,
and
let's go
and
look.
As much as we want everybody to be homeowners, guys, it's not for everybody. Okay. So the best way is for you to do your own budget analysis. And again, I can do this for you within half an hour. We just sit down, you share with me a couple of things, and I just, pound it out for you guys. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Yours is still in the blue. So, all right.
If you're talking about Sacramento,
yeah, go put, I did that and it didn't work. So,
you gotta
go
put
to,
an actual address.
yes. And I did
How
that like
about
5.
this? I'll put our office. I just go 4 beds. Let's say that. There you go. Look back 12 months. Okay, analyze. There
Look
you
at that,
go.
you guys. Look
This
at
is an
that.
L growth. Average 2,600. That's the rent, y'all. If you guys want to know, just go to rentalmeter.com and put in an address that you want to live in. This is our growth, so the average might be higher. Because if I change to like Sacramento, let's just say,
I'll give you an address for Sacramento, Chia.
I did want to read. I did my listing.
Oh, okay,
See,
nice.
so Sacramento, it's like $300 less, still over $2,000.
And this is a 3-bedroom or a 4-bedroom?
This is 4. If I change to 3, it drops down significantly.
Okay.
Because that 4th bedroom does make a big significant change. And
okay.
So that's the rent, y'all.
Good to know. Good to know.
That is the rent.
Chia, what is that listing going for right now?
$450, and it's already pending. It's only been on the market for a little bit, like right at a week, and it went pending.
My goodness.
And it's a small little 1,100 square foot home in South Sac, and it's going for $450.
$450.
And it's only a 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
That's crazy. Okay, Chia, we have like 8 minutes. Can I share with the audience those numbers based on what you just said then?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's earlier Chia was saying that you guys can see this now, right?
Yeah, put that in full screen.
Okay. So earlier, Chia, you were saying the average home price is about 470.
470.
Right?
Yeah.
At 5%.
You might need to zoom in. I could barely see that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, zoom in.
Better?
A little bit more. A little bit more. There you go.
Cool. Okay. So the average prices are this right here. Okay. And remember, Chia's listing is at 450 already. Mm-hmm. So even if it was a 4-bedroom and it's renting out for $2,500 on average, it is going to be roughly about $300 or almost $400 more, but it is your own home, you guys. I want to share with you guys this because on this side, I also have a lower price point. And those of you who are on the fence, who are waiting, okay, the bubble's going to burst. I'm going to wait until it falls. Okay. I did a $45,000 drop. If that happens and the rates go up another point, okay, guys, look at the similarities. You're waiting.
It's the same.
You're waiting for it to drop. But if the interest rate goes up anyway, what difference would it make? And how long is it going to take for it to drop a significant amount like that?
That is so crazy, Lisa. Yeah. Sorry. That's so crazy because the price is not going to drop from the data that we see, but the rates are going up.
Exactly. Okay. So if the rates are going up, you got to believe this is going to go up too, and the price is going to stay the same. This is for the conventional side, guys. Look, if it's dropping 45% and the rate's going up, it's really not going to help a whole lot. So now you got this whole conundrum of, okay, I'll wait and everything like that, and I'll do all this stuff. But if it doesn't make any difference and there's no inventory, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. And I will reiterate this again. Don't step over dollars to try to pick up pennies, guys. Yeah. Do what you got to do that's best for your family. Rip off the Band-Aid and really analyze your financial situation so that you can be in the best wealth building with real estate or anything else, so that you know that, hey, This is where I'm at and everything like that. Again, I want, you're going to get stuck, be stuck in your own house instead of somebody else's house, and somebody else has that power to change that.
Yeah, because you have no control over your rental. The
Mm-hmm.
landlord could come in and say, I got an emergency. I need to sell this home right now. So I need you out. Here's your 60 days or 30-day notice. You know,
Right.
or like, you know, they could raise rent. They could get you to commit to like a 3-5 year lease. And like, do you really want to be stuck in a over $2,000 rent payment in a 5-year lease?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is insane, you know? So like, don't position yourself to be stuck. If you could qualify to buy a home, buy something within your means.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
So,
I always ask people, whenever I go and show them homes, I always ask them, would you be willing to rent this home? And the home might not be what they wanted, but they it would suffice. If you come across a home that you would not mind renting, then why not make it yours?
yeah.
Why not own it? Pay yourself first and use that opportunity to pay down the principal on the mortgage, so that maybe when the market does slow down, you can sell or rent it out and then upgrade to the dream home to where you
Right.
could afford it.
Now,
Because
I'm so sorry, Chia. Didn't mean
no,
to
go ahead.
I also want to share with you guys, if your landlord does say that, reach out to, well, I'm going to be a little biased and say reach out to Chia because I know he's going to get the job done. But reach out to him and say, okay, if you like the place that you rent, reach out to Chia so that he can negotiate the deal for you guys to actually buy the home that you've been renting all this time.
Yeah, me and Lisa's done that a few times
Yeah.
already. Last year we did that a few
Exactly.
times. Some tenants were calling us because they wanted to buy the home that they were renting, and we spoke to the sellers and we got them to own the home that they rented for many years.
And it was a win-win situation for both parties because it was less headache for the seller,
Yeah,
having one person help negotiate and make it a fair deal for both parties. So that might not be a bad thing when your landlord says, hey, I want to sell, and you actually like where you live, okay? Chia, may I show one more slide? And one more, because I think it's just so much fun.
Go
Guys,
ahead.
earlier I mentioned that there is a $1 million market here in Sacramento. So take a look at this. It's actually more cash offers. I'm pretty sure 90%
That's
of
the
that.
$1 million market.
This is the $1 million market. Yes, we're hitting the $1 million market in 2021.
Oh, man, no FHAs.
No FHA because it passes the loan limit for FHA. Okay.
That's right.
2.7 are still VA. So you VA people come to us. We will take care of you. I want this number to be much, much greater. I want our vets who have served us greatly to be able to be confident to go out there and be homeowners. Conventional is at almost 72%, you guys. Okay. So people are still buying even in this price range.
$1 million range.
Because again, inventory is just so low. In the Bay Area, the average purchasing price for the Bay Area is 1.2. Okay. So when they come here, it's almost like a McMansion. When they stay there, it's like a condo. So they're working from home. Where do you think they're gonna go? Yeah, it is crazy. So yeah, that's all I have today. Thanks for letting me share, Chia. I just thought that was really fun when I saw it.
No, that's good to know. Like, I'm glad you showed that because, like, in that $1 million price range column now, that pool of buyers, majority, I don't know if you guys saw that, majority were still loans, not cash.
Even at that price point.
Even at that price point, people are still utilizing conventional to buy those homes. So, like, I that's why I always tell people that wants to buy or wants to start the process of buying and getting qualified, just go through the process. Send in all your docs to Lisa. Find out what your budget is. Find out what you're approved for. And then find out what the payments are. You don't have to be, you're not obligated to buying a home now that you're approved. No, you just have knowledge now that you are approved and that you are qualified. It's good to know because then it at least gives you a roadmap to your options. You want to have options in this crazy market, because
Yes.
if your landlord decides to sell and kick you to the curb, you need to have another option. Because if your option is to rent another home, I guarantee you it's not going to be the same price you were paying before you got kicked out. And I guarantee you it's probably going to be a smaller home. And I guarantee you you're going to hate yourself for that, because you could have probably owned a home. Now, of course, this is only going to the people that are qualified. To the people that are not qualified because you've already spoken to Lisa or somebody similar to Lisa and you found out you need more financial work, that's okay. Get on it. Like if what you need to correct is your credit score, shoot, reduce those balances down so your score could go up. If your scenario is you need to save a little bit more for down payment, save a little bit more. Cut out some fat from your monthly financial commitments, like those
Yep.
subscription plans that you don't really utilize. Cut those off and start saving those. Instead of
Yep.
eating out, eat in. Like find out what that is to get you over that hump so that you can own, because it's not that complicated.
No.
People just overcomplicate it because they think that they don't deserve to own a home, or they think they can't afford a home. But you might be surprised after talking to Lisa, because now
Yeah.
you're going to know exactly what's in front of you.
Right. And in those two situations, it makes me super sad. Okay. Both she and I came from very humble beginnings, you guys. Both of our parents are immigrants, came here with nothing and everything. So we share this with you because we know from our own experience that can absolutely be done.
Yep, that is so true. Start with a small idea and just make it happen, and then use that as baby steps. Ada says that's so crazy, but the rent nowadays are even crazier. Yes, it is. I'm glad we got our home when we did, because like you said, it's yours and within your control for most of the part. I remember when you guys were looking, Ada. Like I remember during that time when y'all were looking, and you guys are like, man, the home price is so high.
Well, I remember that Ada was one of the lucky ones too, where we got
They were
right in the nick of time, and it's just
not just that, but they got their home for super below value because it was a little bit of a fixer. It was a little bit of a fixer, and so there was a lot of equity that they could have forced on it after updating it. So. You know, like maybe that might be a strategy you guys want to implement right now too. Instead of buying the prettiest house on the block, buy something that's livable, functional, and then make it your own by remodeling it after you own it and force the value up on it.
So last year, you guys, over 70% of my refinances wasn't to get them a better rate. It was just because people wanted, I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to be priced out, so I might as well just remodel. I was doing cash out refinances for over $100,000, and you know what you can get with $100,000? A pretty darn good remodel.
Again, options. If you own a home, you have that option, right? So but if you're renting, you don't. You're under the thumb of the landlord, and hopefully you have a good landlord, but doesn't matter. They still have the control.
Correct.
Glad we didn't wait for the crash. Yeah, I'm glad you guys didn't wait for the crash too, Ada. Because there ain't no crash happening anytime soon. But okay, it is 7:00. I do not want to take too much of y'all time. We just want to keep it short so that way you guys could get informational info about the market, about the trend, our predictions, me and Lisa, and answering your comments, because we're doing this for you guys. We want you guys to be informed, because when you guys know what you guys are dealing with, it helps you guys make a better decision when it comes to buying a home. So that's why we're here.
Absolutely.
So thanks for the comments. Thanks for engaging. We love reading the comments. We love answering your questions. And if you guys are looking for a budget sheet, again, Lisa has a budget sheet that is complimentary, free. Yes. She's not going to charge you a penny. She's only going to charge you for time. You're just going to lose time, but it'll be well worth it. At least you're going to know where you're at as far as qualification goes. And that is invaluable. All right. So with that, we're going to close, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Don't forget to like this video, share it, It means the world to me and Lisa. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.
Good night, Chi Chi fam.